y'all, Stephanie. Welcome back to Quilting Beauty and Books. I pray that you and your family are all doing well today and that you enjoy today's video. And today's video, makeup free again, loving it. Last time I'm going to be disclosing when I'm makeup free and why I'm makeup free. It's just, it is what it is. I am doing a reading vlog, guys. My very first reading vlog. I'm really excited. Some of the clips are, but you know what? It's all good. It's my first. Hopefully it'll get better as the more I do them. The first one is on the book Murder at the Flamingo, a Van Buren and Luca mystery by Rachel Macmillan. The book is supposed to be about a man and a woman. I don't know where they meet in each other's lives or anything like that. And something about anxiety. I read the back cover, but I usually glance at them, and I do read them to you guys when I do my hauls. So it has been a moment since I hauled it. So I am going to get into reading, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I am back. I read chapters 1 and chapters 2. Chapter 1 is about the main character, Hamish, Luca. He, right off jump, he is in a full-blown anxiety panic attack. And I'm like, wow. And she took you in depth into this panic attack. She just don't say he had a panic attack. No. Tell him how he's feeling. I think that's the first book I've read that, really touches on panic attacks. I do suffer from them, so I got an idea of how he is feeling when he's going through it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And he's in a courtroom. He's a lawyer. And he's having a panic attack at all times to have one, because you never know when you're going to have one. And that is when he is having one. And I felt really bad for him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is horrible. So that's where he is right now. No, he had the panic attack, ran out of the courtroom. The people he were defending was like, what kind of mess is this? So what did he do? He's 25 years old. He ran to his daddy's office. No, he ran to his daddy's office because something that either was it a lawyer or the client said. And he was like, what? So he ran to his father's office. It come to find out what he heard was true. I'm not spoiling it. If you want to know, you got to read it. I'm trying my best not to spoil it because it was really good. So he went to his father's office again, and he found out it was true. And he was like, you know what? I can do this by myself. I don't need you, And what he do, 25 years old, living with his mama and daddy. First thing that came to my mind was the song Scrub, but that's not him in this case. He ran away. He ran to his cousin, who always was in his corner, who always encouraged him and all that kind of good stuff. So chapter 2 opens up about a young girl named Regina Van Buren of the New Havens. They call her Reggie for short. Reggie is, before I get to Reggie, Hamish ran away to his cousin, whose name is Luca. Okay, now back to Reggie. Reggie is a hoity-toity young lady, just posh and polished to the 9 yards, and she is a movie buff. Every movie, especially if it has anything to do with an investigation and all that kind of good stuff, she is on it. She can play every character. She thinks in the mind of movies. So it was pretty cool going through on her journey. She always felt a little bit different, I'm going to say. She has this boyfriend, high society, and they've been friends she'll say friends, and he was like boyfriend, you know, that kind of thing. So it was, they had her mama's garden party, everything, you know, had to be super posh. And he drags her in the middle of the garden at this party and announces their engagement. Let's just say something happened after he announced it, and it led her to running away. Oh my gosh, I want to spoil it so bad. But if you want to know what happened, you gotta read the book. So she ran off. This book is taking place in 1937. Yeah, 37. And I'm gonna tell you guys, she is used to having people do things for her. So she is learning how to do things for herself. That means she's gonna have to get a job. That means she's gonna have to cook, clean, and all this stuff on her own. And chapter 2 was telling how she was managing all of this on her own. So, and she was determined. I have to give her that. She was a determined young lady. I can't remember how old she was, but I do know that Hamish was 25. So, let's get into more reading. Got a little bit more reading in of the book. My goal is to get into chapter 10, but I'm having to come back and tell you guys some stuff before I forget. So, Reggie, again, she ran off, and I'm at the point where she is learning to, she had to learn how to, like I said, cook for herself. She got a place on her own. Now she's at the point of trying to secure a job. Well, in her job search, she came across one jerk face who tried to take advantage of her, and she was like, oh no, slow your roll, bro. I don't roll like that, okay? So he was like, oh, you know, you cute, you know, it's gonna be hard for you to find a job, sweetie. And she was like, and I will do fine on my own, you know. So she left him alone, or finally got out of there by the skin of her teeth before getting taken advantage of. Then she goes to the next job interview, and it is with Luca. Luca's last name is Valari. He is a up-and-coming nightclub owner. She was like, I am from high society, name being all across the newspapers and all that kind of stuff. I walk with my head held high and all that, and I am about to interview for a nightclub that is like beneath, you know, her family's station. So she goes in there, she interviews, and he was like, look, I can use you. I can use somebody like you. She's like, well, just keeping it real, I have no job experience, none of that, you know. And he was like, look, you here for a reason? Right. Okay. My skeletons need to stay in my closet. Your skeletons need to stay in yours. Only thing I need you to do is answer this phone, be discreet, talk only about the Flamingo or advertisement or the success of the Flamingo. That's the only thing I want you to talk about. Someone called looking for me, talking about from the past where I come from. You don't want none of that. Don't even go into it with them. None of that. Hang up, pretty much. That's what he was telling her. Keep my past in my past and keep yours in yours. And she was like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. And then he fronted some money. And she was like, oh, really? I can deal with that. Because she needed it. She gonna spend all the money she had getting to, she ran away, and Hamish both ran away to Boston. So she needed it, and she did have a plan that if things got too bad, she had some jewelry that she will pawn. She's not at that point, I guess, because Luca done fronted her this money. So Hamish on the other end is on his way to Boston, and when he got there, his cousin wasn't there. His cousin sent a driver to get him. When he got to the penthouse, his cousin was at the penthouse. So I'm like, yeah, you couldn't go pick your cousin up, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, to me, it was kind of impersonal. And he has a live-in domestic. Her name is Fidget, and she cooks him a sandwich. And you know, right away, Luca's like, "Oh, do you want a martini? What do you want to drink?" And Hamish was like, "A Coke." Hamish was like, he was like, "I don't drink. I want a Coke." That kind of thing. So, there he's telling Hamish all about the Flamingo and all his plans and all that kind of stuff. And Hamish is looking at Luca like, you know, so in his mind is twirling. At first, he's really, really happy for him. And then all of a sudden, he started, something don't sound right. Something fishy going on. And then his cousin said, "Oh, I got something for you." And he was like, "What?" He's like, "I got a bike for you." That is very important to Hamish, because Hamish is not the kind of person who, let's just say, he deals more, he likes riding bikes more than he likes driving, because he felt more one-on-one with nature and it's more personal to him. Let me put it that way. So we're at that point where Reggie is now working in this building. And in the building, there is a temporary agency ran by a lady named Mildred. There is a housing development manager there. His name is Nathaniel. They call him Nate for short. And then there is a couple of other people. One guy named was Tom, and he just like owns some of the land over in that area. And then there was a guy named Edwin Basket, something like that. They were together all the time, and Nate was trying to figure out, he's one who is really about the community, making people happy in that community, because this is a community that was dealt with high-end morals with the people. You know, they were more for the people rather than for a business or something like that. They really, really cared about the people that lived in that environment, helping one another, and making sure that everybody was taken care of. I really like that about that period of time, because now in this world that we live in today, everybody is about themselves. So it was really nice reading about, you know, the tight-knit community back then. Now I'm at the point where Luca invited Hamish to a baseball game. He knew that that was one of his cousin's favorites, and that was a way of getting to, you know, him, you know, breaking the ice a little bit more between them. And at this event, Tom is there, and he has this girl with him. Her name is Mary. And right off the bat, she was like, "Oh, Tom said I'm going to be a cigarette girl over at your club." And he was like, he said, "What?" And Hamish was like, "Huh?" And he was like, Tom is one of my investors. So, you know, you got to do things that make your investors happy. So Hamish was still letting that whirl around in his head, you know, and trying to enjoy the baseball game at the same time. And just really feeling something funny in his gut that his cousin is into something, but he just didn't know just as of yet. So let me get to reading some more, and we will see what we come up with. After they left the baseball game and everything, Hamish decides to get on his bike and go riding off. And he's like, "I need to just discover some things about this city. I want to know more about this city. Now, he didn't go around looking in the apartment, nothing like that. He knew he just had a room and he had a bike. So he chose to go get on his bike and go exploring. So he wanted to know where was this headquarters of Luca's was, you know. So he went, that was his journey for this day. He decided to go to the north end, which is where the building was located at. And at this time, Nate has already been questioning why, you know, would somebody with this kind of clout, you know, put his headquarters office in a place like the north end. And how they made it sound was the north end was the ghetto, the slums. So why would he put his headquarters here? Only how he'll put his headquarters here is if, you know, so nobody would know where he's located, kind of thing, where they not gonna find him, because it's so opposite of who he is and what he's trying to do with this nightclub, because he's trying to do this nightclub up real big. So he goes off looking, and he comes into a place that reminds him of home, reminds him of his people, Italian, and he goes into this bakery kind of place, and he gets talking to Miss Leona, and it is a beautiful relationship right off the bat. She's speaking Italian, and he's speaking a little bit of it, unbeknownst to him. Reggie is in there, and not knowing nothing that they're saying. And he wanted to know if she had, and I'm probably slaughtering the word, brute to something. I mean, it's ugly but pretty. Like cookies and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cute. And then it started raining, and he's on his bike, and he wanted to help Reggie get to where she was going, and she was like, no, I got it, getting soaking wet. But it was really nice of her, because she was going to this bakery because Nate bring her cannoli all the time. She went to the bakery to get treats, not only for herself, but all the people that were standing in the lines at the unemployment office. So I thought that was pretty cool of her. So that is where I am right now. They don't know each other as of yet, but it sounds like, well, of course, it's a Van Buren and the Luca mystery, so they got to be working together at some point. So at this point in time, they don't know each other. Only the main person in the middle is Luca, because Hamish is his cousin, and now Reggie is his secretary. So just keep reading. Okay, I'm at the point where things are starting to, you know, pick up, where, you know, the club will be opening in a couple of weeks and all that kind of stuff. And well, they had to get out and do some things, you know, to expose themselves, get, you know, advertisement or whatever. So what is happening at this point, they decided to do some nightclub scouting. And Reggie is invited to come to the club, and so is Hamish. They go to the nightclub, and that's when we find out that Hamish is a really good dancer. He loves to dance. First, he dances with Mary Finn, the cigarette girl. And she's like, "Ah, you're a really good dancer." She got this little nasally voice, which I can't imitate at all. But she would remind me, if anybody know, back in the day, in my mind, the first person I pictured when they said had a nasally voice was Michelle from back in the day. So that's who I pictured in mind, whose voice I had in mind as Mary Finn was talking. And Hamish was like, "Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty good at this," because here he is anxiety free. He doesn't have a care in the world. He finds himself. He knows that he's a good dancer, but he's very humble about it. And that's why I really like the character of Hamish so far. Everything I read about him, I really like him, and I guess because I can identify with him a little bit. Now Reggie is there, and she was like, oh, he can dance. So she goes out and dance with him as well, and find herself having the time of her life. Remember, I was saying back that she was quote unquote engaged. Quote unquote engaged. Now she's doing a lot of flashbacking to him, like, you know, he would have never done this, and he's not this way, and, you know, I could have never been as free as I am with this guy right here. So she is really enjoying herself, and it's good to see her so far, you know, in this new life that she has created for herself, and she is determined, again, like I said before, to make it work. Now things are getting a little bit suspicious, so I am going to go and read a little bit more, and I'll be right back. Just finished the part where Hamish and Reggie just got off the dance floor, and, you know, they were still talking, having a good time, and they noticed that Luca was nowhere to be found. And they were like, okay, something's up. You know, Hamish all of a sudden got his Raven look. And I'm just teasing. From That's So Raven. He got a gut feeling someone right, and come to find out, they went looking for Luca. Why in the basement of somebody's nightclub? I don't know what possessed them to do that, but that's where they found him. He was getting worked over, as they called it back then, beat the heck up. And they were getting ready to cut off his finger and all this kind of stuff, you know, mob stuff. And Hamish got involved in it, and he got roughed up to the point where he actually was hurt really, really bad. And yeah, they were like, oh, he thought, Reggie's like, I thought he was dead, blah. You know, all that just went in. And so at this point, Hamish and Reggie know, look, something ain't right with your cousin. He up to something. All these phone calls we getting up at this office, people threatening, calling, cussing me out, and I'm only talking about the dang gum club. You know, something is not right. So at this point, the book right now, like I said, I'm at chapter 10, and, you know, he has just gotten hurt. He's coming off of it. Luca still's like, oh, he shrugged it off like it wasn't nothing. But Hamish is like, I can't get over what happened to me. And Reggie's over, I can't get over what happened, what I saw. And, you know, she's like, I'm in my right mind to leave this, but I need to find out what's really going on. What, you know, what is he into? You know, that kind of thing. And so Hamish is there trying to figure it out as well. This is supposed to be his summer vacation. It's coming up into a doozy. Him, you know, coming, getting beat up, fighting this girl, Reggie, and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And, you know, get more involved in her life. So right now they're starting to stick together a lot. And they're always there. He's always going over to her, to the office, you know, they're starting to put two and two together, trying to anyway, and Luca keeps shutting them out. He's like, there's nothing wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You guys might as well just leave it alone. And he was like, yeah, nah, that's not going to happen. But the crazy part about it is Luca, to me, he just don't feel like he's playing with a full deck, because he's like, oh, you know, don't worry about it and all that kind of stuff. And now you almost just got your finger cut off, and you telling them not to worry about it, and you're like telling Hamish, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, just live the good life. You're here, you know, that kind of stuff. He was like, yeah, you're not playing with a full deck. So, and that's where I am. The book is starting to get really, really, it's slow now. You know, they're just getting to know one another, and I'm like, something else is gonna happen. Let's hurry up and get to it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's where I am right now. So Hamish got beat up. And we're going to see how this all plays together. Hamish and Reggie are getting to know one another. I think that's where I left off before. In actuality, they are starting to fall in love with one another, and they're both too chicken to tell each other. So it's kind of cute because Hamish has never had a girlfriend before. He liked someone before back home, but nowhere near the feeling that he is getting with Reggie, and what she is doing to him, like bringing out the best in him, maturing him, and that kind of thing. And Reggie the same. Like I said, she did have a fiance, and she is like smitten with Hamish because he's everything that her boyfriend is not, but she still is drawn to thinking of him often. Okay, now yesterday I did touch on Hamish got beat up. Now they're at the point of trying to figure out what, trying to save Luca from his own self. Because like I said, Luca is the kind of person, he's brushing everything off, thinking everything is okay. The only thing he has on his mind is opening up his nightclub, which is going to be in I think it's about a couple weeks or a week out right about now. Introducing some more characters. They all sound pretty shady. Johnny is a bartender. Now get this, Johnny is a bartender who worked at that club where they got beat up at. But he is also dating Mary. Mary, who's dating Tom. Tom, who is a married man. Okay? So, that love triangle had come out. And we're at the point of, where am I now? Yeah, they're just, talking more about certain individuals. Oh, and the guy who beat Hamish up and supposedly Luca, because he only got threatened. He didn't get beat up like Hamish did. And if you were after Luca, ain't no way in the world Hamish got beat up worse than Luca. So something is fishy there to me. He is the guy that is mentioned a lot now. His name is Mark Suave. So I'm not sure what his connection is, and it seems to all go back to Chicago. So that's where I am. So let me read some more. I'm hoping to get at least halfway through the rest of the book, and then I will be right back. Okay, now we are getting to, I got to the point where the club has opened. It is opening night. Everything seems to be a go. Everyone is happy. Everyone is looking beautiful. Everything is exactly the way that Luca had described it to a T. He got Johnny working the bar because he stole them from another club. And Mary, the cigarette girl, selling her Chesterfields and a couple other brands of cigarettes. And we got the band, they're playing. Everything that could be going right is going right. Then small arguments break out throughout the bar, but not, nothing to, really even give a full storyline on. And one of them is Tom Schultz. Now, what I didn't mention was because I didn't think it was that important, but Tom Schultz walked with a walking stick. That walking stick played a very, very big part in the beat up of Hamish because it was used to choke him out. So he put the walking stick behind the bar to go dance with Mary, and even at that point in time, another chick came up to him talking about, he my man and all this kind of foolishness. I think that's how that went. I am so tired right now. So I think that's how that went. And Mary got a little irritated because with him, and she was like, he's not all that to me. But because she still, like I said, had a relationship going with Johnny, the bartender. Well, Hamish was dancing with Reggie. No, Hamish was dancing with another girl. Reggie really wanted to dance with him again, but at that point in time, he did not ask her. But I think went and asked her, and then all of a sudden, while she was dancing, she thought she saw her ex, and she was like, no, I couldn't have seen him here. And then to kind of find out, she did. Well, Luca was out dancing with another person, and then she was like, Johnny needed something from down in the basement. Lo and behold, when she went to go get whatever it was that Johnny needed, there was a body at the bottom of the steps. And hence, that was the murder at the Flamingo. Now, that is when the book picks up a little bit more, when Hamish and Reggie put on their detective hats, trying to solve this mystery, because the police who were called to the scene were paid police by Luca. So they stated that it was an accident, and Hamish was not having that. Because of the evidence that was present, it was like, there's no way that was an accident. But that's how it was being ruled out, and everybody who was around knows that, one, is not true, two, that they were fine with that. They were not trying to get any deeper, because really everybody is a suspect, period. So they weren't having it. Nate is now involved on their expedition, or their adventure, on finding out who is the murderer. Because going back to the scene when it happened, when Reggie went to go get Hamish, lo and behold, two people came out of the darkness. And one of them was looking guilty as I don't know what. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. I promise you it doesn't look the way it seems. Oh, it's nothing, like somebody has been murdered. And it just wasn't sitting well in Hamish's spirit, nor Reggie, so they became sleuths. So with that being said, I only got a little bit more of this book to read. Let's see what they find out. Okay, I am done reading this book. Did I love it? No. Did I like it? Yes, I did. I really did like it. Now, at the end, it just became too much in the very short time. So I had to keep going back and trying to catch up. It was already kind of difficult for me to start reading in the very first place, and especially when it got a little bit slow, and then all of a sudden it picked up, and then it got really slow again, and then all of a sudden it just got jumbled up together for me. So they went on the adventure of trying to find out who the murderer is, all while they were yet trying to fall in love, all while they were falling in love with each other and trying not to tell each other. One moment, I'm cooking. Sorry about that pause. Yes, they were falling in love with each other. Everyone around them can see it except the two of them. What was also happening was her ex was back in the picture. He came talking about, oh, I love you. Don't you know this is why? But you were going to run anyway because you're just that kind of girl and all that kind of stuff. So he is there in Boston trying to make a life, trying to prove to her that he does love her. Hamish, on the other hand, is sitting there like, I wish you like me. You know, he reminded me so much of Eeyore. Eeyore. And Luca reminds me of Tigger all over the place. And at this time, Luca is MIA. MIA, and there is a reason for it. Fidget has a story. Like I said, everything just came about at the end. It just got really, really jumbled really, really quickly. And Hamish dad called, been trying to reach him and stuff like that, telling him to come on home. And Hamish was like, he's at this point now, he's independent. He's like, no, I ain't gonna stay here. I'm gonna stick up for myself. I'm gonna take care of myself. Love you. That kind of thing. And so Reggie has also had taken that stance. And they decided to open up an organization for helping those in the community to do just that. Stand up for themselves and be independent and live the best life possible. And that's how it ended. One thing about this book I am super duper happy about is the fact that they did not all of a sudden fall in love and everything was que sera sera. You know, it did not happen like that. So I really, really enjoyed that she did not do that. Am I going to read the second book? Yes, I am. Not right away, probably. But I will be getting the second book and reading it. And hopefully, now that the characters have been established, now that it can get to a place where, you know, I can actually enjoy the book itself. So that is all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, my first reading vlog. And until the next video, guys, be blessed. Bye.